What is up, everybody? Today I'm here at Canada's Wonderland in Vaughan, Ontario, Canada. I'm going to be checking out the park for my first time in 2024. As some of you may know, I made a video last year about this park, sort of reviewing the park, and I basically sort of explained that the park itself really isn't built to handle the crowds that it gets. So today I'm going to be looking around and seeing if they made any improvements on this issue. And it also appears like a pretty big 2025 roller coaster is coming to this park. So I'll be checking all that out and more today. So a big change the park made for 2024 is that security is now up under Leviathan instead of being up by the front gate where they check your tickets. I think this was a really smart move. It's good for efficiency. You don't have people getting checked up here, getting stuck in the line for the tickets, or people are getting their tickets sorted out and all that stuff. So separating the two is definitely a smart idea. I know the park used to get backups where the line would sort of trickle off over into this left side here where there's now security and a gate stationed. This is already an example of the park taking steps to improve upon the issue of just not having the infrastructure in place to handle the 3.5 million people they get every single year. You can say what you want about this park, but Wonder Mountain is still a stunning sight to walk into. Just an absolutely beautiful landmark and just an icon for this park. Although it looks nice, it's definitely gonna look different next year. It's been known for quite a while that Wonderland was going to be getting a 2025 roller coaster. One of my reasons for visiting this year was to check out the progress on said new roller coaster to get an idea of what the scale of the ride will be. All we really know for sure just 3 days before the announcement is that this will be a dual launch coaster from Premier Rides, which seems like a lot of information, but when considering the scale of the project, it really isn't that much. For example, we don't know what dual could mean in this situation. Could it mean that there will be 2 separate coasters? Does it mean that the ride will have 2 launches? A lot of major projects that Cedar Fair has done in the past, like Top Thrill 2, Rapterra, Orion, and Iron Menace, have been leaked. So much so that we've pretty much known the exact layout from start to finish. However, this one has been kept under wraps by the park fairly well. After visiting the park and viewing some of the teasers the park has posted on social media, I think I might have an idea of what the theme and structure of the ride might be. Or at least I've narrowed it down to 2 options. But before I reveal my predictions, let me show you a bit of that construction site to give you an idea of how big this project really is. So after entering the park and taking a left, we have our first little teaser for the new attraction coming next year. And the attraction's supposed to be centered around Wonder Mountain, and that's all the way over there. So I'm really excited to see how big this thing's gonna be. So based on the current rumors, this is supposed to be a multi-launching Premier Rides coaster. And I would guess, based on how far this is from the mountain, it's gonna be some kind of turnaround or some kind of inversion that will have the train come in one way and come out the other way, like an element, or potentially a dive loop, or maybe just a traditional turn. We'll have to see. So right here is a footer for the new roller coaster. I can touch it. Touch it right now. It looks like the I don't know what the proper terminology would be, but the metal part at the top would be is covered up. So I guess we don't mess with it, which is probably smart because people like me like to, you know, touch these things. And you can see construction workers hard at work right now. So there's no doubt in my mind it's going to be a very long roller coaster. It's not going to be a short experience. It's going to travel all over the place. And over here, even more footers. So there's probably going to be a much larger element on this side. Over here you get a little bit of a better angle of the construction. I'll show you guys. But yeah, I'm shocked they managed to keep the fly. They could have just said, nope, we're getting rid of it, but there's a lot of people who like to ride it, and the park needs as many rides as it can possibly get. So, very creative by the design team, the people who are working on this attraction. So right now we're under Vortex and Wonder Mountain's Guardian, and there's even more footers over here. So we're gonna have supports for the new ride over here. So apparently this tunnel will be where one of the 2 launches on the ride is. So maybe the station will be in here, maybe this will be the entrance to the queue. I'm not really 100% sure, but it's really cool that it's going under the mountain. There's no rides that go under the mountain right now in the park, so I'm really excited for this. This is one of the teasers for the new ride. We'll soon find out what this means. I'm guessing some sort of mining theme or dragon theme, but we'll have to see. After visiting the park, I created a rough outline on Google Earth where the coaster will be located given the location of the footers that have appeared at the park. The park has kept the teasers for this ride relatively general, but one theme that we keep seeing is fire and ice combining to make a new element. This really has led me to believe that there are two options for what this ride will be. The less likely of the two, in my opinion, is that there will be two separate roller coasters. One side could have an ice theme, while the other could have a fire theme, and they interact at the top of Wonder Mountain to create this new element. In this scenario, you would board each roller coaster separately, and they would have completely different layouts. The main reason I am not in favor of this option is, from what I can tell, this would make both layouts pretty short. Obviously, we don't know how much of the ride will take place inside of the mountain or on top of the mountain, but they appear to be pretty limited considering they aren't removing any of the existing coasters as far as we know. On the ground, there isn't a ton of space for the ride, as we haven't seen a ton of footers, unless the majority of the layout is elevated off the ground. On the side to the left of the park's entrance, it only uses the plot of land the park's sky coaster used to occupy from what we can tell. And then on the side to the right of the park's entrance, there's quite a few more footers, but there's less land to work with. In this scenario, maybe one side would be more thrilling, which would probably be the left side, and the other side more mild. But it seems that the land that we're working with is too small to house two separate coasters. The other option, and the more likely one in my opinion, is that the coaster has two parts divided by a launch that includes some elements that interact briefly to create one large roller coaster. I wouldn't necessarily refer to this ride as a Mobius loop coaster because it wouldn't be dueling the entire time, unlike a ride like West Coast Racers, but there still would probably be a few interactive elements allowing for multiple trains to be on the course at once. I also don't think you would stop in the middle of the ride for an extended period of time to allow the other train to load so you could duel. So effectively, the park could market this ride as fire and ice colliding, not dueling, to create one big coaster, allowing the park to market each part of the ride separately, but then being able to combine them to create one big ride. In the storyline for the coaster, this would probably result in the ride being named after a magical rock or gem that the collision would create. Maybe they would paint each side a different color, or paint it just one color to represent the new element that would be created. I guess that maybe there will be 4 trains, 2 of them themed to ice, and 2 of them themed to fire, especially if they go for the single color scheme. My final prediction for this coaster is that there will be 2 distinctly different halves, divided by a launch that'll include interactive elements on top of or within the mountain. Layout wise, I'd expect the part of the ride on the right hand side of the park to feature smaller, more punchy elements, and the part to the left hand side of the park to feature larger, more sweeping elements to create a very long and diverse layout. Make sure to comment all your predictions down below before the park makes its official announcement, so you can come back in a few days and brag about how you were right. This has certainly been a fun project to follow along with, and I can't wait to see what it looks like. Make sure to like the video to help spread the word, and subscribe because I'll have some short form content on it as soon as it drops. Also, I want to let you guys know that I now have a TikTok page, which is linked in the description down below. You'll see the announcement and first thoughts almost immediately after in your For You page if you give it a follow. But with that being said, I'd like to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.